Welcome to a deep dive into something I think you'll find pretty fascinating, the secrets to a long and happy life.
Oh, I like it.
And what's really interesting is we're going to be learning these secrets from the people of Okinawa, Japan.
Yeah. Their reputation kind of precedes them in this area.
Absolutely. And, you provided us with the book Ikigai.
By Hector Garcia and Francesc Morales.
Exactly. And I'm so excited to dig into this with you because I've heard amazing things about it.
Me too. I think it's going to give us some great insights.
So I think one of the most interesting things that I've heard about the Okinawans is that living to 100 isn't uncommon.
Yeah, it's not like a huge deal over there.
Right, and they don't just add years to their life, but they actually seem to have this art of aging so gracefully and joyfully.
They really do.
And the book sort of breaks down their approach to this into a few key elements like diet, exercise, purpose, and social connections.
Yeah, like the foundations.
Yeah, but I have to say it was the concept of Ikigai that really caught my eye.
I know, me too. It's such a fascinating concept.
It feels like their secret ingredient.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So can you explain a little bit about what Ikigai actually is?
Yeah, so it translates to a reason for being.
Okay.
That thing that makes your life feel worthwhile.
Mm-hmm.
That drive that gets you up in the morning and gives you that sense of purpose.
I like that.
And the authors actually highlight a story about a former American diplomat who, despite outward success,
Oh, wow.
they felt unfulfilled.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until they returned to a passion that they had kind of abandoned earlier in life for writing
Wow.
that they actually found true contentment.
That's so interesting. And it really makes you think, about all of the things that we're passionate about, even things that we've maybe put aside for a more quote unquote practical path.
Totally. It's easy to lose sight of those things when you're, caught up in the day-to-day.
Right.
But that story is such a powerful example of how crucial it is to really align your actions with your passions.
Hmm.
And, the book also kind of introduces us to these ideas of logotherapy and morita therapy.
Okay. I've heard of logotherapy, but not morita therapy.
Yeah, so logotherapy was developed by Viktor Frankl,
Okay.
and it emphasizes finding meaning in life, even in the face of hardship.
Wow.
While morita therapy focuses on accepting our emotions and taking action based on our values.
So it's not about suppressing those emotions.
No, not at all. It's about recognizing them, accepting them, and moving forward.
I like that.
So instead of getting kind of stuck in this cycle of, trying to control your feelings, you learn to work with them
Yeah.
and actually move forward in a way that's aligned with what you truly value.
And I can see how those therapies would be really powerful tools for uncovering one's ikigai.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They offer a really valuable framework for finding that purpose.
And it's interesting because, we've been talking about ikigai on this individual level, but the book paints this picture of Okinawa as a place with a serene environment, tight-knit communities.
It sounds idyllic.
It does, and they have a deep respect for tradition, and it seems like people there live in harmony with nature and with each other.
That's the sense you get.
And this is something that just blew my mind when I read it.
Okay.
There's no word for retirement in Japanese.
Really?
I know, isn't that amazing?
That's incredible.
Because here we often associate aging with this idea of slowing down.
Winding down, yeah.
But Okinawans, they seem to embrace staying active and engaged throughout their lives.
It's like they have a completely different perspective on aging.
It really is. And I'm so curious to learn more about their lifestyle and how they make that happen.
Me too. I think there's so much we can learn from them.
So let's start with their diet.
Okay.
Because it seems like they prioritize these fresh, locally sourced ingredients.
Absolutely. Lots of vegetables and a good amount of fish.
So it's not about restrictive diets or deprivation?
No, not at all. It's more about, eating what's natural and what's good for you.
And they have that saying, right?
Oh, yeah. Eat food,
Yeah.
not too much. Mostly plants.
I love that.
It's simple, but it's so profound.
And it's so true. And I'm curious, what are some of those standout stars in their culinary lineup?
We've got things like Goya, turmeric, seaweed,
Okay.
all packed with tons of nutrients.
I've heard of turmeric, for its anti-inflammatory properties.
Yeah, that's really popular these days.
But Goya and seaweed are a little bit new to me. So what are those like?
So Goya is a slightly bitter melon.
Okay.
It's often used in stir-fries and soups, and it's super rich in vitamins and antioxidants.
Okay.
And seaweed in its various forms
Mm.
is a staple in their diet, providing minerals and fiber.
Interesting.
And they don't shy away from healthy carbs like sweet potatoes.
So it sounds like a really diverse and colorful way of eating.
Oh, definitely.
And they also really emphasize mindful eating, right?
Absolutely. They practice what they call hara-hachi-bu,
Okay.
which basically means eating until you're 80% full.
Wow, I love that.
It helps to prevent overeating, and it actually allows for better digestion.
I can see how that would be so beneficial.
It's a practice I think a lot of us could learn from.
Absolutely. It's such a simple shift in perspective to, just pay attention to our body's cues and recognize when we're satisfied rather than just, stuffing ourselves.
It's about listening to your body.
And it's about being present with our food, too.
Definitely.
So beyond their unique diet, Okinawans also prioritize movement and mindfulness.
Yeah, movement is a big part of their lifestyle.
And a great example of that is Radio Taiso.
Oh yeah, I love Radio Taiso.
So what is Radio Taiso?
It's basically a series of gentle exercises practiced daily by people of all ages.
Wow. So it's really ingrained in their culture.
It really is. It's become like a national ritual.
It's so interesting how they've made it such a communal activity.
Yeah, you'll see groups practicing in parks and community centers. It's quite a sight to see.
I love that. And it reminds us that staying active doesn't have to mean intense workouts.
No, not at all. It's about incorporating movement into your daily life in a way that feels good.
Right. So can you give us an example of a typical Radio Taiso exercise?
Yeah, so one of the exercises involves standing with your feet together, raising your arms overhead, and then coming up onto your tiptoes.
Okay.
And as you do that, you're stretching your entire body.
Wow. So simple, but
It's simple, but it's really effective in maintaining flexibility and range of motion.
I can see how that would be something you could easily incorporate into your morning routine,
Absolutely.
like a little wake-up call for your body.
And it's a nice way to start your day with some energy.
And the book also highlights practices like yoga and Tai Chi.
Yeah, they resonate a lot with the Okinawan way of life.
And Tai Chi in particular emphasizes finding balance, cultivating inner peace, and moving with intention.
It's about connecting your mind and body.
Yeah, and from what I know of Tai Chi, it involves these slow, fluid movements, almost like a moving meditation.
Exactly. And the book even breaks down a really basic exercise that you can try.
Oh, perfect.
It's called Wave Hands Like Clouds.
Okay.
Just imagine your arms moving like these gentle waves, flowing effortlessly through the air.
I can almost feel a sense of calm just thinking about it.
It's incredibly relaxing.
I bet it's a great way to de-stress and just connect with your body.
It's a beautiful practice.
And that brings us to another important aspect of the Okinawan philosophy, which is embracing impermanence and finding joy in the present moment.
Yes, they have these beautiful concepts called wabi-sabi and ichigo-ichi.
Those are new to me.
They're really powerful ideas.
So what do they mean?
Well, wabi-sabi is all about finding beauty in imperfection,
Okay.
accepting the transient nature of life,
Mm-hmm.
and appreciating the simple things,
Oh, I like that.
like finding beauty in a cracked teacup or, a weathered piece of wood.
Yeah, or a flower that's starting to wilt.
Exactly. It's about seeing beauty in the unexpected.
Yeah.
And then ichigo-ichiri
Okay.
is about cherishing the uniqueness of each moment, recognizing that it will never come again.
Right.
So whether you're having a meal with loved ones or, taking a walk in nature,
Yeah.
it's a reminder to really savor the experience fully.
Be present.
Be present, exactly.
And I'm starting to see a pattern here. The Okinawans seem to have really mastered the art of slowing down and appreciating the little things.
They really have, and I think that's a big part of their secret to longevity and happiness.
Yeah, it's about shifting our focus from striving for what we lack to appreciating what we already have.
It's a powerful shift in mindset.
It is already making me think about my own life in new ways.
I know, me too. It's really thought-provoking.
It's a lot to take in, isn't it?
It is.
Maybe this is a good point for us to pause and let all this sink in.
I agree.
And we'll delve deeper into, the practical applications of Ikigai and all of this in the next part of our deep dive.
Sounds good.
So until then, think about what's resonated with you so far.
Okay.
What aspects of the Okinawan way of life are you most drawn to?
What are you curious to explore further?
We'll pick it up right here in the next part of our deep dive.
Can't wait. Welcome back. I hope you've had some time to reflect on all that we talked about in the last part.
It's been swirling around in my mind.
I bet.
So, we touched on logotherapy and Morita therapy in the last part, and I'm really curious to understand how those connect to Ikigai.
Yeah, I think they offer a really valuable framework for kind of putting Ikigai into practice.
So let's start with logotherapy.
Okay, so logotherapy was developed by Viktor Frankl,
Okay.
and it suggests that humans are driven by a search for meaning, that we find meaning through creating things, deeply experiencing life, and choosing our attitude in the face of challenges.
So even in difficult times, we have the power to find meaning.
Absolutely. And Frankl himself endured unimaginable suffering in a Nazi concentration camp.
Yeah, he can't even imagine.
And he actually observed that those who found meaning, even in those darkest of moments, were more likely to survive.
Wow, that's so powerful.
It really highlights the resilience of the human spirit.
And it makes me think about that story of the diplomat who found their Ikigai in writing.
Yeah.
You know, it took a lot of courage to leave behind this prestigious career and follow a different path.
Absolutely. It's about listening to your inner voice, aligning your actions with what truly matters to you.
And then Morita therapy focuses on accepting our feelings without judgment.
Exactly. And then taking action that's aligned with our values.
So rather than getting caught up in trying to control our emotions, we acknowledge them and we move forward.
Yeah, it's about recognizing that our feelings are transient.
Mm.
They don't have to dictate our actions.
Both logotherapy and Morita therapy seem to offer these valuable tools for living a more purposeful life.
I think so.
But how do we actually put those tools into action?
Well, the book offers some really insightful questions to consider.
Okay, I'm ready.
First, what are you good at?
Okay.
What do you love to do? What does the world need from you, and what can you be paid for?
Okay, so it's like this roadmap to purpose, where that intersection of those areas is our Ikigai.
Exactly. It's a beautiful framework.
I've always struggled with this feeling like my work should be my sole source of purpose.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way.
But this framework really opens up so many possibilities.
It could be as simple as, finding joy in everyday activities, hobbies, or connecting with others.
And speaking of joy, the book mentions flow.
Oh, yes.
That state of being completely absorbed in an activity where time seems to disappear.
I love that feeling.
I've definitely experienced that, but I never really connected it to Ikigai.
Well, Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, who's a pioneer in flow research,
Okay.
describes flow as a state of optimal experience
Okay.
where we feel both challenged and capable.
Oh, I like that.
You're kind of stretching yourself, but you're also in your element.
Yeah, and you're not thinking about anything else.
Exactly. You're fully present.
So how can we actively cultivate more of these flow experiences?
The book suggests that you start by identifying the activities that bring you into that state.
Okay.
So ask yourself, when do you lose track of time? What activities make you feel most alive and engaged?
And then intentionally make space for them in our lives.
Exactly. Prioritize those activities.
And the authors also highlight this concept of takumi, the Japanese idea of a master craftsman who dedicates their life to perfecting their craft.
That's a beautiful concept.
Like Jiro Ono, the sushi chef.
Oh, yes, from Jiro Dreams of Sushi.
Exactly. His dedication to his craft is so inspiring.
He's a perfect example of how dedication, perseverance, and love for your work can lead to a truly fulfilling life.
And it's not limited to, a specific field, right?
Not at all. It can apply to anything.
So it's about approaching whatever we do, whether it's our job or a hobby or, creative pursuit with that same spirit of mastery.
It's about finding excellence in everything you do.
But, it's important to remember that finding your Ikigai doesn't mean that you'll never experience, negative emotions again.
Right. Life is full of ups and downs.
Yeah, life throws curveballs, and even people with a really strong sense of purpose face challenges.
Absolutely. It's not about achieving some perfect state of happiness.
Right.
It's about having this guiding force that helps you navigate those challenges.
Yeah, so it's about building resilience and finding meaning, even in difficult circumstances.
Exactly. And it reminds me of that Japanese proverb, Nana korobi ya uki.
What does that mean?
Fall down 7 times, get up 8.
I love that.
It's all about perseverance.
Yeah, and remember those Okinawan concepts that we talked about earlier, wabi-sabi and ichigo-ichi?
Oh, yes?
They play such a vital role in fostering resilience.
Absolutely.
Can you remind me what they mean again?
So wabi-sabi is about finding beauty in imperfection, accepting that life is transient, and appreciating the simple things.
So it's about finding contentment in the present moment.
Exactly.
Rather than striving for this unattainable ideal.
And then ichigo-ichi is about cherishing the uniqueness of each moment, recognizing that it won't come again.
Yeah, so it's about being fully present.
Exactly.
And appreciating the beauty of those everyday moments.
The authors actually share this quote in the book that I found really powerful.
Okay, what is it?
The happiest people are not the ones who achieve the most. They are the ones who spend more time than others in the state of flow.
That makes so much sense.
It really highlights the importance of finding those activities that truly absorb us, that make us feel alive.
Yeah, rather than chasing achievements or external validation.
It's about the journey, not the destination.
But that feels easier said than done, especially in our society that's so busy and achievement-oriented.
It's definitely a challenge, but I think that's where the Okinawan approach to social connection comes in.
Okay, yeah, tell me about that.
So they have this concept called moai,
No, why?
which are essentially social support groups
Okay.
that provide a sense of belonging and mutual aid.
So it's like a built-in network of friends and neighbors who are there for you.
Exactly. They
Yeah.
support each other through challenges, they celebrate life's milestones, they share meals.
It sounds like a really beautiful system of support.
It really is.
But, a lot of people struggle to find that kind of community, especially as we get older.
That's true. But the book emphasizes that, cultivating these connections is so crucial for our well-being.
Mm-hmm.
They offer suggestions like joining clubs, volunteering, or even just making an effort to connect with your neighbors.
So it's about actively creating opportunities for social interaction.
Exactly. It doesn't just happen passively.
You have to put yourself out there.
And the benefits are so worth it.
Yeah. What are some of the benefits?
Well, research has shown that strong social ties reduce stress, they boost immunity, and they can even contribute to longevity.
So it's like a win-win situation.
It really is. You're fostering meaningful relationships and you're enhancing your health at the same time.
And as we move into the next part of our deep dive, it's important to remember that you don't have to completely overhaul your life to incorporate these principles.
Right. Small changes can make a big difference.
What would you say is a good starting point?
Just pick one or two things that really resonated with you and start there.
We've covered so much: the power of Ikigai, the importance of flow and Nakurumi, the beauty of wabi-sabi and Ishigo-ichi, and the vital role of social connection. I think I need some time to digest all of this.
Take your time. There's no rush.
So we'll pick up right here in the next part of our deep dive,
Sounds good.
exploring specific strategies for applying these Okinawan principles to our daily lives.
I'm looking forward to it.
Welcome back to our exploration of the Okinawan way of life. It feels like we've uncovered so many gems already.
I know, right? It's like a treasure trove of wisdom.
It really is. And I'm ready to start putting all this amazing wisdom into action. How about you?
Oh, absolutely. I'm feeling so inspired.
So as we kind of wrap up our deep dive, what has resonated with you the most throughout this whole journey?
Honestly, it's been such an eye-opening experience. The Okinawans' holistic approach to life, it's truly inspiring.
I agree with you there. And if you had to pick one thing, what would you say has really stuck with you?
That's a tough one, but I think it's the concept of Ikigai that's really stayed with me.
Me too.
Hmm?
It's such a powerful reminder that our lives are filled with purpose and meaning just waiting to be uncovered.
Exactly. It's like a little spark inside each of us.
But I think a lot of people struggle with actually translating that concept into actionable steps.
Yeah, it can feel a little overwhelming at first.
So where do we even begin?
Well, the book offers a really great starting point.
Okay, I'm listening.
Think about what you would do even if you weren't getting paid for it.
Okay.
What activities light you up, make time disappear, and leave you feeling energized and fulfilled?
That's a great question to ponder. It really helps to strip away all those external pressures and connect with our genuine passions.
It's all about finding that inner drive.
But what if someone's drawing a blank? What if they feel like they've lost touch with those passions? Or maybe they never really had any to begin with?
That's where exploration comes in.
Okay.
Trying new things, revisiting old hobbies, or even just paying closer attention to those moments in your day when you feel a spark of joy or excitement.
So it's about giving ourselves permission to experiment, to play, and to rediscover those things that make us feel truly alive.
Exactly. It's about reconnecting with that childlike sense of wonder and curiosity.
And as we're exploring, we should pay attention to those activities that bring us into a state of flow, right?
Absolutely. Those moments where you become so absorbed that time seems to stand still.
Yeah. We talked about flow earlier,
Yeah.
and I'm really starting to see how crucial it is to finding our Ikigai. It's like a signpost pointing us in the right direction.
It's like a little nudge from the universe saying you're on the right track.
And remember, your Ikigai doesn't have to be this singular grand pursuit.
Right. It doesn't have to be this big dramatic thing.
It can be a collection of activities, passions, and connections that bring meaning to your life.
It's about creating a life that feels full and vibrant.
I love that. And it's a relief because I think a lot of people get caught up in this idea of finding their one true calling.
Yeah, it can feel like a lot of pressure.
But this approach feels much more attainable and flexible.
It's about weaving those threads of purpose throughout your daily life.
So it's not about making these drastic changes, but rather making conscious choices that align with our values and our passions.
Exactly. It's about those little everyday decisions that add up over time.
And beyond finding our purpose, the Okinawans also emphasize nourishing our bodies through diet and exercise.
Right, taking care of ourselves from the inside out.
And we talked about those dietary principles earlier. Eat food, not too much, mostly plants.
Such a simple but powerful guideline.
And they're focused on those fresh, locally sourced ingredients, all those vegetables, fruits, and whole grains. It's something that I'd love to incorporate more into my own life.
Me too. And don't forget about harahachi bar, eating until you're 80% full.
It's a really mindful approach to eating that can make such a difference.
It's about tuning in to your body's signals.
I've been trying to be more mindful of my portion sizes lately and just listening to those cues, and I'm surprised at how much of a difference it's made.
Sometimes those small changes can have the biggest impact.
They really can. And then when it comes to exercise, the Okinawans really emphasize gentle movement throughout life.
Yeah, they keep it simple and sustainable.
And we talked about Radio Taiso, those daily exercises.
It's such a fun and accessible way to stay active.
Have you ever tried it?
I have. It's a great way to start your day with a sense of energy and focus.
I'm definitely going to have to look into that. And beyond those structured exercises, they also incorporate movement into their daily routines in all sorts of ways, right?
Absolutely. Gardening, walking,
Yeah.
even just being more active in their daily lives.
It's not about those grueling workouts. It's about finding ways to move your body that you enjoy and can sustain over time.
Exactly. It's about making movement a natural part of your life.
And that's what I love about the Okinawan approach.
Yeah.
It's all about finding joy in the process. It's not about deprivation or strict rules.
It's about making sustainable choices that enhance our well-being.
And finally, we can't forget about the power of social connection.
Oh, absolutely. It's essential.
We discussed the Moai, those social support groups.
It's like having a built-in network of support.
I think in our individualistic society, we often lose sight of how important community and connection really are.
Yeah, we tend to focus so much on independence that we forget how much we need each other.
So how can we cultivate those connections in our own lives?
It starts with being intentional about making those connections.
Mm-hmm.
Join a club or group that aligns with your interests, volunteer in your community, or simply make an effort to connect with your neighbors.
Yeah, just strike up a conversation.
Nurture the relationships you already have by making time for friends and family, expressing gratitude, and offering support.
It's about showing up for each other.
Exactly. And remember, even small gestures of kindness and connection can make a big difference.
Well, as we wrap up our deep dive into the Okinawan way of life, I'm feeling incredibly inspired. We've uncovered so many valuable insights from finding our Ikigai to nourishing our bodies and connecting with others.
It's been an amazing journey, and I hope
Yeah.
you feel empowered to incorporate these principles into your own life.
Me too. And remember, it's not about adopting every single element. It's about finding those that resonate with you and weaving them into your own unique tapestry of a long and fulfilling life.
Keep exploring, keep experimenting, and keep seeking those moments of joy, purpose, and connection.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Ikigai. We hope you've been inspired to embrace the Okinawan way and create a life that's both long and truly worth living.